What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Luxalgo live stream. My name is Jacob. It's good to be back, my friends. And yet again, later stream today, but we're still at the beach. We are traveling back tomorrow, so everything the rest of the week will be on time. Tomorrow, we might have one more stream here, and then we'll be back in the normal schedule, so be prepared for that. Let me get some music going before I go crazy. It's weird having no music in the background. There we go. Hope you guys had a great Easter weekend. If you celebrate, hope you had a great Easter weekend, my friends. Lot to talk about today. Bitcoin holding up over 70K all weekend. No volume coming in, probably because of the holiday. More than likely, no volume. Makes a lot of sense, right? Makes a lot of sense. But that being said, we do have a bunch to go over. Hodl gang, where you at? Where's my Hodl gang at? I know some of them are actually across seas, so they might be asleep already. Sorry if we didn't get on earlier, so appreciate you still being here if you are a part of the Hodl gang. But if you want to be a part of that Hodl gang, you do get 2 extra entries on every Friday giveaway. So make sure you join up. But we're here to go over charts. We got a little bit longer today, so we can take our time. Take our time on the charts today. But welcome back, my friends. Thanks for being here. But what else were we going to say? Yeah, NASDAQ was today the first red day, kind of. Looks like it closed green today, roughly. We just closed. Let's see. It's been a while since we've had a decent red day. Yeah, the ES was down today. SP 500 down. A lot to talk about, though. That being said, if you're new here, welcome. Let me see here. Hodl gang. Those of you that are here, should we take our should we take the top 10 viewers on Wednesday when we're back home? We should probably do that. We should probably wait till then from the previous week, and then we can continue into the next week. I feel like that might be the move. But if you're new here, guys, we have a top 10 viewer list. Where you can see Roy's already tried to add to his profile. Roy. But overall, you have a chance to add $100 or 100 points to your profile if you end up being in the top 10 list, top 10 viewer every single week. You get a 1 in 10 chance of winning $100. So something we do per stream. Last Friday, Moore did win. That sounds good, Webb. Yeah, and Webb's that sounds good. Yeah, I want them to be back here. So Punk Channer, what's up, dude? It's gonna take a minute for people to jump back in. There's Punk Channer. Punk Channer, you think we should save the Bitcoin BCH 700? I think where did BCH go? BCH was close. I think I looked at it this morning. Oh my, no way. Did it really hit? BCH did. Wow. That's insane. Are you still holding that? That's insane. Good work, man, if you're still in that trade. Insane move. All right, guys. Well, man, should we do predictions today? Since we're a little bit different time. I feel like because the normal Hodl gang's not here, we wait on predictions. I didn't move to Florida. I'm just here for a few days. I'll be back on Wednesday. Tom wants the predictions today. Pop-up predictions. Should we do Bitcoin predictions today? We're going to go over charts here in just a minute, my friends. I was going to see if people wanted to do Bitcoin predictions. I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the chart just for now, just so we have it up. Exited BCH at 500. That was a good TP point, man. Just the freaking, it's crazy how insane of a move it had. We should wait for the Hodl gang members. Yeah, we can do that. I'm going to move over to charting. Yeah, we can wait for the Hodl gang members for the predictions. If you do predictions today, please note my Bitcoin more. I'll go to sleep now. Look at Dame. We'll save Bitcoin predictions. We'll save it for Wednesday. We'll do one last prediction on Wednesday, just because tomorrow will be another stream here, but then we'll do our top 10 viewers on Wednesday. Okay, so we'll just chill with that, because the Bitcoin predictions are the big difference to who's going to be in the top 10. Appreciate it, Dame. Thanks for peeking in for a second. All right, guys. Well, let's talk it. Let's just talk. Let's get to it. Let's get to the Bitcoin chart. Lots to go over. Let me get up the That's micro Bitcoin. Where's my regular Bitcoin? There she is. All right, so weekly chart. What do we say? What do we say on Bitcoin? Actually, really quickly, guys. Yeah, dude, I love these candle colors, man. This is a new candle color. Really quickly, let's do this. I got a good thing. Really quickly, as we're about to go over this, I'm gonna have you guys throw. How do I want to do this? Actually, yeah. Maybe we do it the way we did it before. That's not a bad idea. Maybe do a. Let's do it that way. All right, that's what we're gonna do. Let me set this up really quick. Bear with me, and we'll go over the Bitcoin moves here. We go to my. Where's my YouTube chat? One sec. Oh, do I have it on here?
Freedom.
I do.
Freedom is why I love doing it.
Chill. All right. I'm going to do it on here. Okay, really quickly, I'm going to start a Q&A. What would you like to be analyzed today? That's probably not how you spell it, but whatever. All right, throw it in. If you want anything specifically analyzed in that Q&A that just popped up, throw in what you want to look at, and we'll go over what you want, okay? Click into that, and we'll get charting, my friends. Just click into the Q&A there. I'll look at the Q&A here in just a second. We'll go over that. Let's start with Bitcoin. Let me pull up chat on my phone as well. But Bitcoin, guys, had the weekly close we were looking for. Bitcoin had the beautiful weekly close we were looking for. And that's the best thing that we could ask for. All right. So Bitcoin weekly close, we had the 65,500 level. Remember, that's what we mostly talked about. We got that closure a week ago. And about a week ago. And we had the closure last week as well, up above, very nice price, 71,000. That's exactly what we were looking for on that weekly close. I'm going to zoom out here a bit without the oscillator. But those all came from previous open close highs that we talk about here all the time. So that being said, seeing this continuous closure, we're still very bullish. If it's going to continue closing over that previous 2021 high that we had set there, we're going to be looking for this continuation. Now, today we had a bit of a pullback, which is actually pretty nice, to be honest, because whenever you have these candles start these pullbacks early on, let's say like day one of the new week or day two of the new week, a lot of times the weeks can end bullish. So this candle opening like it did, it never went up. It never went to go retest the last candle's high. I think, if anything, we're at least going to eventually go retest that last weekly candle's high, which was 71,789. So everything's set up with this last week's close for this week to have a really good week. So we did discuss that daily time frame on Bitcoin for us to potentially go up and retest 73K. That's our target as of now. Once we get through that, we can discuss some upper targets like 80 or so. But this week does look primed for another potential all-time high, especially after the way we closed last week. So that's a big reason why we're like, all-time high is big watch right now, because we could essentially have that move and that breakout through that 73K very soon. If you guys want anything specific analyzed, make sure you click on that Q&A and you go within that. I'm taking only suggestions in the Q&A. You'll see right now there's only, I can't see it. Bottom right, there's only a few there. So I got Filecoin, APT, BCH, Litecoin, ONDA. And I'm only going to take ones that seem specific. But click on the Q&A at the top of the page and top of the chat and reply to that, and I will go over those. But right now, 70,000 has been chilling. If we go to that 4-hour time frame, that's the biggest thing to watch here in this current consolidation we had. We had that breakdown yesterday, okay, earlier this morning, and from yesterday came back down, broke that kind of that previous swing low there. But again, it's bouncing off these previous highs. So seeing this bounce right off these previous highs, great sign there that this thing might want to hold. So what are we watching for this week? Well, first off, we need to get back through that 70K mark. A lot of you usually get alerts. If you have an alert set at 70K, a lot of times just if you have any exchange app on your phone, they'll alert you when it goes through 70K. So, if we get back over 70K pretty early this week, I think we're looking good for possibly retest of 73. So, the big reason for these, too, is a push of liquidity. They come down here, they gather enough liquidity to rally it back to that 73K, if not higher mark. So, we're going to see if this consolidation is worth that kind of sweep there. They want to sweep out maybe some leftover orders here. You can tell that it's still being bought as it retests kind of these previous highs at 68. We discussed before 68K was such a good level to watch because of these previous highs and lows that lined up there. It's just a very significant level at 68. The fact that it just rallied right off of that is very good sign that this thing could probably go retest above 70 pretty easily. But again, for some reason that 71.5 level, some strong resistance, so I'd want to see that. But either way, if this thing's trading over 65,500, I'm not gonna be stressing about where Bitcoin's heading. If it's over even in the 60s, we discussed about the oscillator and the fact that the 60s could be that play for the weekly retracement on the oscillator, and that's totally fine with me. If we get a retracement on Bitcoin, it decides to just chill in the 60s. That oscillator would give it enough time to get down here, reset for that next run. Notice the biggest thing too is the fact that the oscillator on Bitcoin here turning up, right? The oscillator on Bitcoin right now, coming out of this, previous bearish money flow there, is now barely in bullish money flow. Look where that bullish money flow started here on Bitcoin. The bullish money flow started right here, right? It was right here when it got up to that 40K. So it was after the whole trend reversed on that weekly. So we're still fresh on that bullish money flow, which means consolidation is everything that we're looking for right now. If we can get that consolidation in the 60s, like again, we're in the 69, people are going to freak out if this thing even goes and touches 60 again, like it's a bad thing. But we're so extended on that weekly chart, it could be healthy to get that. Now, before the halving, that's what we want to look for. Right now, we're sitting at a particular price that we've seen before the last halving we had back in 2020. Back in 2020, we had a halving from May to May. We had about a 50% increase, and then a year out from May 2020 to May 2021, we had our all-time high run for what? It was 200%. So it's like that's what we're looking for this year. We're watching for that consolidation. See if it wants to sit up around this 100% mark, because from last April right now, we're up over 100%. So if we're up over 100% from last April, the consolidation happens into the halving, we get it above 60, we're probably going to end up getting that really nice run a year out after that. So even if it dips down a little bit, let's say wicks below the 60 mark, maybe we get a really nice pump through that going into, let's say, 80 to 100K, because we're really looking for that 100K mark after the halving with it by April of 2025. So really looking for that move. Looks really solid. Moonchain price MXC. Guys, if you want anything specific analyzed, make sure you jump into that Q&A. You throw it in there, as you can see here. There's only a few, not very many. And I'll answer your questions, but appreciate you guys being here. Welcome back to the Lux Algo live stream. I'm currently out of the normal setup. We are in Florida right now. I'll be back on Wednesday in the OG setup, but excited to be back there. If you're new, make sure you hit that sub button. Got a lot to go over today. We're going to go over a lot of specifics, but we're going to jump into Ethereum here next as it continues to trade above this exact price level we've been talking about for a while. So, guys, anything specific, throw it in the chat. We'll possibly go over it. But other than that, let's keep going, my friends. Ethereum right now sitting right at that price level that we have discussed for a few weeks now. Lovely consolidation. That's what we want to see. We got this daily consolidation continuing to happen around which price? 3,500. We discussed 3,500 a billion times. Why 3,500? Why is that so significant? Well, if you come back on the weekly, this is a little, trick that I teach anybody that comes in here that's new, is these weekly open close highs, okay? These weekly open close highs are very significant. Look at what happened on Ethereum on the weekly. We had this level marked off forever as we were watching it run through that 3K level. When it goes to the 3K level, we were targeting 3,500 first, then we were targeting right under the 4K. Look at where this line ends up being a beautiful target right there. Boom. Rejects. Where did that come from? Came from 2021, back when we had that last all-time high run. So Ethereum right now holding up over 3,500. This is a good sign that it continues to trade through this, that it wants to actually be stable and potentially rally from here. So it consolidating on this, it consolidating on this price point is good. This is proper structure. It's solidifying that the 3,500 level is of good value. So that's what you want to see there, especially with previous weekly open close highs there. And now, we're still in that bullish change of character. That being said, oscillator as well, just flip bullish on the money flow for the weekly. Let's dive into the daily on Ethereum, my friends. Let's dive into the daily on Ethereum. If you're new here, make sure to hit that sub button. Also, hit that like as well. We do $300 giveaways every Friday, so make sure you tune in on Fridays if you want a chance to win. It's as simple as just subbing. Then you join on Fridays, and you have a way to enter. If you're a part of the HODL gang, you also get 2 extra entries. You just hit the join button next to the LuxAlgo logo on the live stream. But Ethereum right now that we saw it come off this daily and kind of reset, this is pretty healthy, right? The only thing that concerns me is that there's a potential lower high, and also we're extremely bullish on Solana and the fact that it's pretty much taking over the amount of transactions that Ethereum's been doing. So Solana is literally taking over the entire network, and we'll get into Solana in just a minute if you stick around a bit. But overall, Ethereum, we still like it. They're consistently updating the network. They're trying to make it faster, cheaper, stuff like that. So it is something that's going to be around, and it's been around for a while. We're not as bullish on this as we are on Solana or Bitcoin, but it's still, one to always discuss because it's going to be there. The tech is still pretty good. So a lot to go over with Ethereum because it has been a lagger compared to Bitcoin and some of these other coins we've been looking at. So for right now, the only kind of a bummer that we're getting right now is we're getting that bearish money flow coming in. We also had an extended turning point on the oscillator matrix here, which is not great. When you see extending, especially on a daily, a lot of times that can be your trend shift. It means it had a decent amount of sell-off to indicate a lower high play. And also, if you even look at a Fibonacci here, you can see that this could very well right now, it's right inside that golden pocket for that nice bearish retracement. So if this were to play off a bearish retracement, that's where I'm a little bit worried about it, is right here. But again, we respect our weekly levels. We have a level at 3,500. That's where I want to continue to watch it. So overall, I need to continuously see bearish structure on Ethereum here if I want to go short. Now, if I were to go short, I wouldn't be too short on this. I do think it could have a potential to come back down to maybe 3K like it wicked back a few weeks ago, back in March. But even this level here, 2,500 is very significant on Ethereum. So if we were to, for some reason, get that pullback, 2,500 would be that level I'm eyeing just due to the open-close lows that clearly were support here, as well as the resistance we've been having on the daily and that weekly chart. So overall, not a bad price point, but as long as it's going to hold in this 3,500, not going to go retest the low that we had the other day, I think we're going to still be bullish for that, maybe that move back over 4K very soon. So let's jump into Solana, my friends. Remember, we always go over the majors first here on the stream, and then we take y'all's suggestions as well. Make sure you click the Q&A at the top of the screen, and you throw it in that Q&A. You just click it, and you throw it in there. As well as smash that like button, guys. Let's get 200 likes today, if not 120 like we normally like to do. But Solana hitting the 200 mark. And then today coming off of it, right? We're down 5%. We were up 5% yesterday. Quite an interesting move, I will say. The fact that we came out of this and just rallied to 200 is impressive. I think the biggest thing, though, for Solana is the fact that, guys, we are in the meme coin era. This is the cycle that you're seeing all over Twitter. It's the idea of all these people making, using ChatGPT and these different AI softwares to be able to launch meme coins in matters of seconds. That's why you see a new meme coin for every single trend that's coming. And guess what? This is all being done on the Solana network. So why wouldn't we be mega bullish on Solana? Because of the amount of people that are actually using it. I mean, granted, a lot of people are also losing money on the Solana network. This is pretty much a gambling network at this point, just with the amount of people that are literally just tossing their money in and then hoping they can get 100x or something. But overall, that's what it's turned into. But that doesn't mean that's why, people always say, like with certain things, it's like why do you want to buy Bitcoin when you can mine Bitcoin? It's like, let's think about the infrastructure of Solana. It's like, instead of trading meme coins, why not buy the actual coin that is being traded on? Now, if you're smart with meme coins, obviously you can, take that gambling aspect and utilize it in a good way, and make earn a lot of Solana. But that's kind of up to you if that's some type of thing you want to be risky in. But I wouldn't recommend it. I just recommend buying Solana because it probably would do the same thing. It'd probably 10x at some point, but it would be a longer period of time, not 2 days like people do on the Solana chain. That being said, though, let's kind of go over the chart here. So the oscillator here on the 4 hour looks pretty solid, but let's start with the weekly. Now, why do we have resistance here at 200? Well, again, where do we have a significant level to talk about? Well, the biggest thing we were discussing was that 173. That was our first overall target because we did had weekly open close highs rejecting there and a weekly open close bounce. That's why 173 was our bread and butter when it came to coming down for a potential retest for that rerun to 200. So we got that, dump right through what it hit 160s. Yeah, 162. We got that dumped to 162. Settled off and then continued up to 220, if not higher, right? So right now, though, we do have another pivotal point to the downside that happened on the weekly. Just so happened to happen at 200. Now, I'm not as bearish on that 200 level as it may seem with this because even though it reacted to this level, the biggest point about it, besides it being a pivotal point in the past, is the fact that it's just a psychological 200 level. People see the price 200, they think it's a good take profit level. Now, eventually, those people will get out of the way, and people are going to start driving the price higher. But 200 always psychological. But if I ever see a significant pivotal point on a weekly chart, I'm always going to mark it off. Just so happened to be that 200 level. That was our overall upside target for this first move. Now, we are extremely extended on Solana as well on the oscillator, as you can see here. This thing's sitting at a 95 extension. That's pretty aggressive. It would be nice to continue to have consolidation. I was really hoping that we get, like a bull flag on a daily. We almost got it before and it broke out early, but that's okay. I mean, we're very bullish on Solana, so we don't care as long as the price goes up, right? That being said, 224 is the bottom of this 41% order block. Very strong order block here on a weekly chart. That's why we're targeting 224. Now, if that hits, I mean, it would probably crush it more than likely. I wouldn't say that there's gonna be a lot of resistance there, but we always recommend the bottom of order blocks is a key spot to be taking it. But we have a very significant, if I take off price action concepts here, open close weekly high at 250, another psychological level. Why are we taking it off at 250? Well, there you go. It's right under that all-time high, and also had the most trading volume at that all-time high, sitting there with the open close price. Yeah, we'll be checking more coins, man. Make sure you go to the Q&A and you click it right there, and you put in your Q. There we go. People are already doing it. We got ONDO, we got LTC, we got Core. We have Core more than once there. We got some others. AXS. We got you guys. No worries. But that being said, right now we're just looking on this this continuation here. This daily time frame makes a little bit of sense. It's just going up, trying to find where it wants to kind of settle before it makes its next move. Solana, so long as it's up over 173, we're bullish, and we'll leave it at that. All right, let's go over one more major before we get into y'all's suggestions, and that is gold. Now, those of you that know, we're still riding a pretty aggressive gold trade here that's been absolutely killing it. Now that I see this, I'm going to be moving this up even more, probably to above this high now. So, I mean, this trade, it was killer. If you were in here, absolutely been destroying this trade. All comes from the oscillator. This was an oscillator setup we were eyeing for a while on the daily. But for gold right now, all-time highs. We're just continuously watching to see if gold... Now, this is a gold future. It doesn't look the same. But here you go. We're continuously looking to see if gold can close on top of each other's highs on the daily. So long as gold keeps closing above the previous day's high like this here, it's closing today at the previous day high, we're looking for the biggest move. Hey, Wardo, we're not doing predictions, man. We're saving that for Wednesday when more of the HODL gang can join, okay? So we're waiting for more of the HODL gang to be able to join to do those predictions. We'll do that on Wednesday, okay? Because I'll be back in the mainstream on Wednesday. Gold is still going nuts, and guess what? How do we hold? Well, we just wait until price stops closing on top of each other on the daily chart. So if price keeps closing above the previous day's high, there's no reason to let go of this thing. The other thing we can do is we can throw on the signals and overlays do the recommended sensitivity of 10 there, and we can start eyeing these TP points. Right now, we've been in 2 TPs so far with these X's, right? We're trading well over that Neo Cloud. I would want to see this thing give us another TP before considering any type of, exit or an opposing signal. As so long as this thing's riding an aggressive trend like it is, there's no absolute reason to be getting out of gold. That's why I absolutely love swing trading, because you can just hold, hang out, and wait until it actually shows that price is slowing in a matter of time. So gold right now, we're just continuously watching. Today it needs to close over Friday's high of 2236. It's looking like that's going to happen. So tomorrow it does the same thing. It closes over today's high of 2265. Then we'll continue to hold it. That's just a part of the trade. But overall, guys, if you took that gold trade with us, absolutely killed it. The setup was perfect on the oscillator. If you're new to the stream, well, we talk about this all the time on our setup. I'll go over it briefly. But overall, we look for a bearish trend or, a bullish trend, depending on what direction. We look for structure break on the oscillator, because the oscillator always shows structure. Let me do it on the gold, the actual pair. I always look at the on ONDO. So lower highs forming on that oscillator, lower lows forming on the oscillator, right? And then we wait for that structure break. Once that structure breaks, all we're waiting for is a bullish turning point above that 50 level. When that 50 level is, when that bullish turning point happens, that is pretty much a guaranteed confirmation on the oscillator. When the oscillator confirms a turning point, like one of these little green dots, that is full confirmation. When we saw this here, on that closure day when it wicked that high, we took the trade. We had the stops below the swing low, and we've been riding it ever since. Overall, great setup. That's our A+ setup we always talk about on stream. It's been absolutely killing it. And we'll talk about the Atom trade tomorrow. That was the first loss we got in a while. But it's funny because the trade actually didn't. It wasn't our normal setup. It was actually a new version of the setup. But guys, while you're at it, hit that sub button. Also, hit the like button, guys, if you are new here. We appreciate you being here. We go live pretty much every day at 1 Eastern. I'm in Florida right now, so it's a little bit different, but usually when we're home, we go live every day at 1 Eastern. Okay, so let's start with Filecoin. That's a good one. I like that one. I'm going to just go over the ones that that I've gone over and that I've liked, depending on if this thing's at an all-time high or not. And that's a big thing. So as you can see here, first off, we always chart our weekly time frames. Now, on file here, the biggest thing was holding over that 852. As you can see here, we had a beautiful bounce. Guess where it came from? A previous weekly open-close high. Same goes for this level here at 9.80. Same weekly open-close high. So if that, continues to hold up there at 9.0, I know I discussed that we want this in double digits. Double digits will be nice. Let me skip this song. This song's a little slow for me. There we go. All right. So yeah, that being said, over that 852, we're still bullish on it. It's creating a very lovely higher low structures in play. Our upside major target is that previous swing low at or open close low on the weekly at 1726. Let's dive into that daily really quickly. It did beautifully bounce off of this before. In this case, though, let's look at the oscillator. Oscillator did flip to the bearish side, but it is trying to hold up a little bit. So I would like to see if this thing could potentially continue its consolidation, then make that breakout. Yet again, though, this is similar to like Ethereum that we talked about. Is it was potentially rejecting off a possible bearish fib retracement, and that golden pocket's run off that 50%, which is interesting. So that's something we're definitely going to be somewhat watching right now. But again, if it's going to hold up over 852, I'm not too worried about it. Let's go to the weekly, let's go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, it did just print a bearish change of character. The biggest thing you want to see here is you do have a slope that did get broken, right? So you need to see this thing get back up over that slope, which would indicate that it probably needs to break roughly, 980 back over 10. Holding 10 would be ideal. I would want to see Filecoin hold 10. Obviously, today's a little bit bearish in the market. But again, we've been absolutely ripping through these highs on every market. So seeing that is, it's not too bad to see it. The weekly chart looks very good, though. So long as that's still intact, I'm not too stressed about it. We'll see how it treats 852 again if it goes down there. Let's go to the next one. We haven't looked at BCH yet, Jacob. I think that's the next one we'll do. BCH we'll do next, and then Kemal, I got you with APT, okay? BCH is next. BCH, this was by far the best trade we've had in a very, biggest trade probably we've had in a long time. This thing was absolutely massive. We took a 4-hour setup that turned into one of the biggest moves we've been looking at and hit 700. Our overall target was 600. What are we... What are we supposed to do? Like, that's awesome. It's 600. That's insane. But again, this is one of those things where if that slope continues to hold, like, why get out? Why exit, right? Why exit that trade? So I know a few of you took a major trade on this thing. And yet again, like we discussed on gold there earlier, this was the ideal setup. And on Atom, we had an unideal setup that we tried to take and see if it play out. Of course, it doesn't, right? When you don't have those A+ setups, it doesn't usually play out as much in your favor. But in this case, BCH did. So as you can see, lower lows did form on the oscillator as well as lower highs, right? You had that structure break. You can see this box I already signaled here. Price went up and extended, it came back down, and it created that turning point. Remember, that is that confirmation you look for. Created the turning point on this price. And it just so happened that it was, let's see here. This is why the A+ setups are always key. It so happened to be, guess what, at a high. A lot of you would be probably like, dude, I'm not taking a trade at a high. But overall, when it's in your favor, when the setup occurs, it doesn't matter where it is because things like this can happen. Right now, where you're sitting at a 5-to-1 trade already that ran for roughly 6-to-1. So it's still moving here. This was a $218 50% move so far with your risk of only 10%. You gain 50%. I mean, not too bad of a trade. But overall, great job if you're in that trade. Where are we heading now? Well, the slope is still in play, right? The slope on this 4-hour is still in play. There's no reason to get out of this until that structure shifts. And it just so happens now our overall target of $600 happens to be that structure shifting point. So if it breaks below 600 and gives you a 4-hour candle close below 600, then that's the price point I would look for to take profits, right? I would look to see if it closes back under 600. But again, this thing right now has no idea it has no plan to break below 600 from what we can see. Now, we might have actually talked about this. You know what, Punk Chainer? I think we did talk about this. I think we did talk about this weekly open close high that's clearly showing a rejection right now and why you always need to plot those on the chart. But 679, that if you know me, you know every single time we start with the weekly chart, we plot off significant pivotal points. It just so happened the middle of this order block was right at a pivotal point on a open close high there of 679. So 679, you can see it's rejecting already. This is what I would have targeted next after 600. Why did I target 600? Well, 600, remember, it's always the bottom of the order block. It's always what I'm going to go for, psychological level, stuff like that. But overall, that 679, I'm pretty sure we discussed. I would be shocked if I didn't say anything about 679. But that being said, guys, this absolutely killed it at 679. But again, this is, maybe this is the price point to take at least half off if you're still holding a long trade. But as long as this slope's intact on that 4-hour, it continues to bounce off previous highs like it is now at 639, you might want to just set your final stop loss under this swing low that it set on the 4 right now that's trying to swing off of 617.4, and then hold the rest or whatever you're thinking. But overall, 679, there you go. The one time on the weekly it decides to reject so far, it just so happens to be at a previous pivotal open close high on the weekly. I mean, you can't get better than that, right? Can't get better than that. So, monster trade. Punctuators and master. We did Soul Man. If you want to go back in there, we can go over Soul again. We can go see it if you go back in time on the stream. But overall, guys, 679, massive move on BCH. If this thing continues to hold structure on that 4-hour, it's probably going to continue possibly into the 800 or more. But, this thing right now just needs to hold up over 639. I still can't believe this is $200 from that original entry. That's insane. So, great job, my friends, if you took it. All right. What's up next? Let's see. What's up next? Let's see. Somebody wanted LTC. We'll do LTC next for John P. Today, guys, we're going to go for about an hour and a half today, okay? We're going to go about an hour and a half. So right now we got 20, We got about 50 minutes left, okay? Did I do Avalanche? I haven't done Avalanche yet. We can do Avalanche. All right, Litecoin, my friends. Litecoin 112. Insane. Okay, so, yo, if this hit, I don't think, it barely missed it. Ooh. Barely, yo, listen to me. Barely missed that open close high in the weekly. Barely missed it. The high of this was what? 112.98. That sucks. Because more than likely for me, if I saw an open close high sitting at 113.48, I would have set my TP at probably 113, to be honest. I probably set at 113. Might be a silly question, but is this the week to buy Bitcoin or wait? Paul, I mean, I would suggest if you're new to Bitcoin, just start buying it. Buy it every week. I don't think it's ever a bad time to get a little bit of Bitcoin. I personally, what I do is I buy Bitcoin every week. And then when there's really good opportunities, I'll buy more. So it comes down to that. If you're willing to hold it for a while, my friend. That's the biggest thing. But 113.48 there would have been, I would have targeted 113, just so happened this hit 112.98. That's kind of rough. That being said, though, we have an interesting price here, right? We have an interesting price point to discuss. And this is it right here. Of $100 up to 103, right? So right now 100 would be pretty key this week. If it can actually hold over 100, that'd be very nice. I'm not a fan of today. Why did we decide to break out today and sweep liquidity and then come back down? That's a little interesting to me. But right now it's still roughly in a position where this thing could continue. Not a big fan that this thing decided to do this on us today, right? Goes up, wicks out, and then comes back down, creates that bearish change of character. Doesn't pretty much, fights that structure. But look at this. Litecoin is still roughly in that slope. There you go. Bounce, 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 bounce. Still in the slope. So nothing too bearish to recommend just yet. So long as it's holding above these previous highs, I still like it, right? Still above that structure. That's why the slope's intact. So if it's going to get back over 100, get back into that slope, let's see if it wants to, trade, maybe consolidate here on the 104s. The only thing I don't like is the fact that this did just break down here on the oscillator. So for me, it's like, if I see the 4 hour here, if it extends down here, comes back up, gives me a rejection after it extends, that's one of our setups. I would want to see potentially a trade off of that. But overall, we got to be patient and see if Litecoin's price, because that's the most important part, is that price, to see if it wants to hold this slope or if it wants to come back down. So if you get a 4 hour closure below that low of 97.25, you would probably see this thing go retest 94, 93. So really look for that, guys. But I will suggest, yeah, it's looking like maybe we see a nice bounce here for now, and we'll see where it goes from there. But let's go on to our next suggestion, my friends. What do you guys want to see? If you want anything specific, make sure you click that Q&A at the top and you throw it in the chat. Okay. ICP doing amazingly well. Wait, somebody just said ICP. I gotta see this. I want to see our other things too. ICP holding up. Nice. I want to see. Let's see. Do we have any setups that I didn't actually take? Adam, we'll go over that for sure. Jupiter. I don't think Jupiter did. Was Jupiter a daily setup? No, it was a weekly. Jupiter is doing very nice, though. I know we discussed $2 on Jupe. So great job if you're on Jupiter and made that breakout. Jupiter is just a fantastic one to be buying just for this meme coin craze. It's just crazy. If I knew about Jupiter and its meme coin potential at 63 cents, I would have been all over that. Goodness gracious. But Link bouncing, consolidating. We talked about consolidation on Link. Dot. I don't think anything really had a setup for us. Oh, wait. Was it this one? Dot might have had a... Was Dot having a bearish setup? Did we discuss that? Higher high, breaks down, potentially. I would hate to short Dot, but it might be a setup. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on Dot. I swear Dot, though, we were looking for a bullish setup. Could be wrong. But Jupe, man, what a move on Jupe. All right. What was I saying we'd go over? No Bitcoin predictions today. No worries. We said Litecoin we just went over. ONDO. Jupiter. Oh, someone already said. Avalanche. Let's go over Avalanche. Avalanche is good. Ravencoin from Chud. Are you still here? I can't pronounce your name. Phil is looking bearish too. We could go over near as well. Let me do we can do, yeah, I guess we'll do Doge, man. You guys always want Doge. Okay, let's do AVAX first. AVAX first. Oh. All right. Avalanche. Now, look at this here. We have a line here. I think that's coming from the 4 hour. Yeah. So we had 4 hour support coming into play now, right? We got a previous high. Bounce, bouncy, right in the middle of that order block, right? At 50.95. So we want to see, if this wants to actually hold here. It's bounced several times, but the more it retests it, the more unlikely it is to bounce, right? I mean, that's just how it is, right? So I would want to see this thing does want to bounce up. If it does, maybe we get a move from here off that level. Is that Q&A still up, though, by the way? It seems like it is. Is it? I guess some of you replied. Doesn't matter. So that 51 there, if it can get up over that, if it can hold this price, you can see on the oscillator here on Avalanche 4 hour, it is. The lows are trending a little bit upward, but it did just break down again. Yo, what's Al? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. Thanks for joining. But again, guys, we're in bear structure. I'm not going to say that I'm bullish on Avalanche because it's trying to bounce off a specific level. I'm going to lean more bearish on a 4 hour time frame in this case because we're in bear structure. Now, if I were to actually trade Avalanche, I would want to see it back over 54. BCH takeoff, dude. Yeah, it was insane. It was incredible. But 54.29, anywhere above that previous resistance it was having, above 54. Let's go to that daily time frame though, because the daily's a little bit different, right? The daily is trying to show structure off of a previous high. That's very possible. I would want to see this thing actually hold up here. And I need to blow my nose. My nose is itchy. All right. But yeah, if this thing wants to hold up over this previous high of 48, right, we could let it touch it. We could let it touch 48. It's still a previous high, significant. You have a potential slope in play here on the oscillator for the daily chart. I would maybe want to see if this thing wants to set up. Yeah, we can do near. I know near is a highly suggested. So yeah, 51 there. 51, as long as it holds up above that, that'd be very nice. But it all comes down to seeing if it, does want to fully bounce right off 51 or not. So that's the biggest thing right now, what I would be watching. And then that structure break of 54 on the 4 hour for a potential setup to go back into the 60s. But overall, guys, you can't get better than this. 64.72, why do we plot that level? Well, it just so happened in the past, and we went nuts over Avalanche. Let's go to the weekly. We went nuts over Avalanche several times. It just so happened that 64 and the 56 level, both very pivotal open-close lows that we had, and it just beautifully rejected. Now, the biggest thing for Avalanche right now is this weekly candle either needs to hold up over that 51 or it needs to come back to the the green side. We need to close green on the weekly. That would be the best move, in my opinion. That would be the best move is get a green weekly close. That'd be very nice. All right. That being said, I keep doing that. Let me see what else you guys got in here. Core from Edward. We did LTC, Moonchain, MXC. We could do maybe Moonchain, depends. ONDO, ONDO. I think I saw that a few times, not just from one person. He said, please check TrueUSDT. We could look over that here in a minute. I'm going to look at ONDO. Let's look at ONDO. I think. Oh yeah, it went on Coinbase. That's why. Okay, so ONDO. This one's gonna be pretty simple. Guys, I mean, this is proper structure. As long as it holds up over this 80 cents here, I'm gonna be happy with it. Right now, I mean, even if it were to go retest, like, look at the daily fib retracement. It lines up beautifully with that previous high. So even if it were to go retest 70, if it shows me buys off 70, I'd probably actually grab some myself. Off that 70 mark. So that's what I would kind of look for on the daily for if it were to make a proper retracement. Weekly's setting fine. Weekly, I would want to see it actually close at least over 89, 90 level. It's at 88 right now. Or if for some reason it can come back green this week, close over last week's closure of 97. We don't have to be too bullish on a dollar, but a dollar mark is always going to be significant if these things open trade, especially on an exchange like Coinbase or something, and it opens under a dollar. I would always be targeting that dollar mark. People, no matter what, will be taking profits at $1. So always watch that level if you're looking just to be trading these. But again, this is still a newer coin that has barely any history. So you know, you got to take it day by day in this case. If we go over to the profiles on this one, we can talk about this really quickly. As you can see, bouncing off that value range. If I'm going to be bullish on this, get through these highs of 93.48, I'll go from there. Honestly, you could even say 95. 95 probably be a best play, but above that, not much volume's been traded, so that's what I would be targeting on that. But let's go over this one real quick. TrueUSD can get it back to 0.15 or not. Let me go look at it, make sure. It just depends on the. Let's look at it. Okay, yeah, this trades nicely. All right. Whoa, this thing's wild. All right, bet. Let's see. Interesting. TrueFi. Okay, so what do you think I'm gonna do first, guys? First off, I'm marking off my weekly levels. Wow. This is actually quite interesting. Okay. So, pivotal level there clearly bounced directly off that weekly. And guess what happened? Directly rejected as well off 16, nearly on the money. Right now, yeah, I mean, day one of a new weekly candle after last week being extremely aggressive. True. I mean, this thing, you know, this is high volatility coin, it being down 11% today. That's pretty aggressive, but look at the difference between this the current move here. That's why you pull up a weekly chart if you're ever flustered. 44% increase last week, right? And just so happens day one of the new week, it's down 11%. I wouldn't be too stressed about that, to be honest. If you are leveraged on this thing, that's when I would be stressed and recommend not leveraging yourself. But in this case right now, let's see here. Recent pivotal low to high. You could maybe see it come down to like 1280. But if this thing's going to hold structure, I mean, I would just continue. If it's okay over 1235, maybe your lowest point. But again, this is day one of the weekly chart. Or, sorry, day two, right? Or roughly day two. So, you know, it moved 40% last week. It's only down 11% this week. See how market reacts by tomorrow. I mean, to me, I wouldn't have entered that high. I would have not have recommended you entering as high as 15 cents. I would have waited for what's happening now. But for bullish structure standpoint, this thing is okay up over 9 cents. So that's all I would say. And if you're willing to hold, but overall, yeah, interesting little trade-off here. This thing clearly pumped for a reason. And you can even see here, look at this previous open close high on the weekly. You have it at 12. So more than likely, it'd probably bounce right off that 12 cents, which was the high of the previous week, was 12.25. So if anything, if it were to pull back enough, I'd probably find a nice bounce off 12 cents. But I probably wouldn't have entered as high as you did. But, you know, that's okay. If you're looking to invest in it, it moved 40% last week. It's only down 11%, you know, this week so far. You should be all right. Should I sell my FTM and buy back at 618 daily? Let's look at FTM. That's a good one. I like FTM. We'll get back to the Q&A as well. I know Jockey fairly well. We'll go over some more. Chud Dale, bro, we can go over yours, okay? We can go over Ravencoin. I got you, man. Appreciate you still being there. Let's see. USDT analysis. We'll go over some of y'all suggestions here in a minute, okay? I do want to look at FTM really quickly. FTM was an interesting, yet again, weekly open, close low there. Boom. Rejected beautifully, 110. That was our upside target, remember. We did discuss the daily potential target, but next step's like 162. This, I mean, yet again, this is just a pretty healthy retracement here. If it, ideally, the next 2 weeks, like, so long as the third week turns bullish. I mean, if this week turns bullish, fine, but for some reason it's red this week again. Third week turns bullish. You would just be in a this is a nice healthy retracement for the time being. It is extended there on that weekly chart. Let me go to the daily. It is extended a bit. Daily's fine. Daily's fine on FTM right now. If it's gonna hold up over these highs here, I would let it hold over 85. If anywhere above 85 it bounces, I think you're okay. Essentially, there is potentially, this is a pretty rough bull flag, but it is the same type of concept. You have lower highs, right? You still have lower highs and lower lows, lower low, and lower high. You still have those. So in this case, it's not bad. I would just want to see this thing at least hold up over 85, and then you should be okay. That's what I would say. As long as it's above 85, you should be okay. Will AVAX pump after off the grid releases? I couldn't just tell you. How's the weather in Florida? It's been nice, man. It's been pretty nice. What is this music? Sometimes this little playlist is good and all, but sometimes it's slow. What to say? Give me something a little bit more upbeat. Okay. Bet. All right. Let me go over the next thing here. Somebody said SUY recently. Let's do Ravencoin for this guy. I haven't looked at this one in a while. RVN, yeah. Forgot the ticker symbol. Whoa. Alright, this thing decided to make its move so far. And, yet again, I wonder if we have this RVN USD. I guess we don't. So, like, I mean, y'all are going to get sick of me saying this, but it's a good reason. Good reason I do it. I'm going to be marking off open close highs on the weekly chart, and there you go. If I was in a trade anywhere down here during this consolidation, I would have probably taken some profits at 5 cents. Clear rejection level, clearly decided to reject it. I mean, easy as that, right? It's not hard. That being said, I mean, as well as look at this. Look at how it interferes here. You have 2 interference points. You have a low and you have a high, but you also have another one. Oh my gosh. That was a clear level. 5 cents was a clear level. I got stuck holding DOT from the possible trade a while back. Were they talking about a trade setup we were looking at? I know we were looking for a trade setup, but I don't think it's set up. But we could look at it again. But there you go. Clearly, 5 cents was important on Ravencoin. It bounced here. It bounced here. It rejected here. Guess what? It's happening again. It's rejecting there. So again, I'm not going to be looking to trade this thing probably. And if I'm not in from down here, I'm not looking to be trading this thing again until we get through these significant levels. It happened to go up touch 6 cents. That's cool and all, but again, it's like that's even the bottom of an order block. So that's another reason why we target bottom order blocks. I would have targeted 5 cents and 6 cents more than likely, and then maybe up at those highs if it had a proper setup. But spending my day scalping whiff. Goodness gracious. You guys are nuts. Meme coins. They're taking over the world. But, yeah, Ravencoin right now, 5 cents, not bad. Price target. Let's go to the daily. So daily time frame is coming back. Yesterday it had a bearish day. Looks like it had probably, 11%. 14% drop after the previous day had probably about a 20% move. Today's 6%. So price is slowing. It's deciding that maybe this value is worth it. Right now, if you had a proper Faber retracement, you're seeing honestly a pretty clean spot. The 50% retracement is lining up above that previous high that it broke out of. It created that change of character. But also, the bottom of the golden pocket is sitting inside an FVG, aka imbalance, which would be very nice to see. Actually, a decent bounce. Could be a trade for just a normal price action setup. Not a huge fan of the 4-hour. Didn't hold structure above this. It tried to at 5 cents. But again, we know why 5 cents rejected. We discussed it already on the weekly. Next up is probably going to retest 4.3. But I don't know. See what it wants to do here. It's still in a nice bullish trend, so I wouldn't be too stressed about it. But we definitely have a reasoning behind why this thing rejected on the weekly, and just significant levels. Why you always chart those weekly time frames. Always key, my friends. Marland, Nat Gas, and Cyrix wants crude oil. Let's do that really quickly. I'll jump back into the suggestions after that. The reason I'm taking their suggestions is because they're here almost every single stream, if not every single stream. So I do appreciate them being here. So I'm going to go over theirs first. So if you tune back in, you hit that sub button. I see you in here more often. I'm more than likely going to go over yours before everybody else's. All right. That being said, crude oil right now. I mean, we discussed it, man. We talked about this daily. Wow, this thing is ripping. It was in that mega trend. We discussed 88 price on crude. We're targeting the bottom of that order block now. It continues to break over previous highs. We said last week, if this closed up at the BOS, which I don't think it did. I think did it? Let's see. Is there a line going through there? It did close over it. Wow. If it closed over that BOS, it probably would continue into today. And as you can see here, it's up another 54 cents. Hit a high of what was that high today? High of 84.49. Massive move. It's still continuing. Now, crude oil runs on reports. So, this, if it doesn't hit 88 by Wednesday, it could probably, reject. But if it's in this slope, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. You might have a red day like this on report and then go back and recover. It just depends on the overall barrel count. We'd like to see where it's at. Interesting price, I will say. Look at this weekly here. You do have a weekly price point where it's sitting right now. It might be worth that you take profit here at 84. Change character breakout as well. It's just a very clean pivotal point here on that weekly chart. I'd probably take some off here, ride the rest if you can. If not, then you can target the 88. I think 88 is going to be a really solid target. But it's always good to take profits along the way. So if you're in some decent profit, probably take some off here just a little bit. If you're not, then you probably ride it through, potentially hitting that 88. Structure's still very strong. Very good trend on the crude oil right now. What's up, Yam? How you doing, man? We think a Bitcoin short term, like 1 to 2 days. I mean, the consolidation has been pretty strong here, so we'll probably do that. Let me look at Nat Gas really quick for MAR. NG. NG. Okay, NG high low on the oscillator. That's a good sign. Create a change of character on the daily. Potential target right now would be like 196. Go to the weekly. Oh, not 11 week. Bouncing right off an order block. Wow. Previous low. So essentially, it already hit the target I would have wanted at 2. But $2 is clearly significant. Rejected there before. Today it's back up. I mean, the weekly is still in a bearish setup. This, personally, I wouldn't be trading this with that bearish look on the weekly chart. But today it did bounce nicely. We do have a potential breakout here of 184.3, which is nice. So structure would have to shift here. Man, this is just all over that. Did gap up. I think that was a contract gap, though. I bet you. Let me do. Oh. It's gotta be a contract gap. No, give me just a regular NG. Here we go. There we go. This one. Yeah, it was contract gap. So it is trying to break that slope, right? On that 4-hour here. I want this thing up above 190 and then maybe consider a $2 run. That's what I'd watch for. Dude, this freaking... That was loud. This freaking playlist is getting weaker and weaker now that I listen to it. Let me see what we got. Oh, this is much better. Much better. Nice. Much more upbeat. Bet. All right, guys. Let's see here. We got about 30 minutes left. Yeah, about 30 minutes left. Decent little stream today. Do you trade any tokens that focus on RWAs? I've heard about those RWAs. No, I don't. But again, I mean, they're probably better. You're probably better off buying those than you are something that comes out called like doo-doo coin or something, because that's pretty much all they are. All right. Oscar said, can you please look at Big Economy? It's so weird. It's rising, but I think Bear's got the money. Maybe. I'll take a look at some point. Let me look at what people... I haven't fully looked at over everybody's yet. MXC was a popular one. Looks like. We can look at MXC. I think that was just Tom, though. Oh, yeah, we can look at MXC really quickly. MXC. Should we do it? I guess we could do Tether. Let's leave it out here. MXC. I don't know. Let's do this one. Alright, bet. Okay. Is this the right one? Tom, are you still here? I'm assuming this is the right one. It's got to be. Can you check Bitcoin? I got FOMO at the moment. If I shall hold or just close as is, I would hold it. And are you leveraged? Are you leveraged there, Runbull Rom? Are you leveraged? Miss that error button. All right. Yeah, the MXC is interesting. This thing has to get up, in my opinion, back over 27 if I'm bullish on this. That's what I would say. It's so extended on the outside. Yeah, there's not much. The structure's starting to play off bearish, or starting to play off bullish. I'd maybe look at it later. Neo TRX. Yeah, I would look for this thing to get back up over that order block high there of 27, and then consider it an opportunity. Nice little move though. If this thing's gonna hold 1.7, I think you're good. If it's gonna hold 1.7, I think you're good. But I would want it to get back up over there. It needs to get out of this consolidation. 2 times grammar error. All good, brother. That's what I would watch, honestly. Core. Core was a popular one, I think. Yeah, we got 2 people asking for Core over there. I'm gonna do Core now. Suck crypto market, and then Edward wanting Core. Suck crypto market. Nice, great name, guys. Look at Core. Yo, whoa. Nice moves, man. Nice moves. Wow. Okay, so Core. I mean, where do you go from here, right? I want to see if there's any other exchange with more data. I don't think there is. MXC maybe. Yeah. Big get anything? Nah, they're all the same as. Alright. When people get scared and start selling, I'll buy. Absolutely. Alright, so Core. This is interesting. I'm kind of curious on this one. Let's look. What is Core? Kava chain. Interesting. I'm not going to spend time looking into it. Let's go over analysis. You guys know what Core is. I got you. My thoughts of taking a short trade. 1 Bitcoin shows a fat gap. Still isn't filled around 66K. I'm currently draw down. The recent move got me shook. You say there's a... If you're trading Bitcoin futures, I wouldn't recommend looking at gaps on Bitcoin futures, man. It's not worth it. The gaps don't play the same. Not as the same as like ES or NQ or anything, or crude oil. All right, Core. This thing doesn't give a shite, man. This thing's ripping. I would say here right now $3. You need this thing to hold on 3. It's got open close weekly high there. It's not much to talk about. Very extended on the oscillator. I don't think that's really going to affect it. It's just right now there's not enough data, not enough trading that has happened for this thing to be actually a TA prospect, right? I can't necessarily say, okay, this is good technical analysis on this to take trades. That's why we always recommend giving like currencies that are, actually worth taking proper TA setups on. But in this case, this is definitely all news driven. Whether it was, Core's seems like the overall name seems like it could be something very legitimate. So do your research, man. This is good. This is a pretty cool looking one. I'm gonna probably look up Core here after stream and look into what it is, because overall a jump like that is pretty keen to something happening with what. Sorry, my bad. It seems like it could be a pretty interesting tech that could be well used, so I'm going to look into it. But yeah, there's not much to go over. Excuse me, man. Look like a weirdie sneezing over here. Alright. Let's keep going. Wrong way. What'd you guys want? MXC, AXS, TRX. We looked at BNB earlier. We could possibly do it again. But in case you wanted TRX, let's do TRX. I like that one. What's up, tech YouTuber? How you doing, man? Yeah, man. I got you, Edward. The thing is ripping. We'll go over Bitcoin here in a sec, for sure. We'll go over back over Bitcoin. We got about, what, about 19 minutes. I got you, Rumble Ron. Yeah, if you're trading, dude, if you're trading Bitcoin futures, I wouldn't analyze on the futures chart. I'm just telling you now. If you're trading Bitcoin futures, pull up Bitcoin USD on Coinbase or pull it up on Binance or something. Analyze it that way. All right, TRX, dude, this thing looks solid. This thing looks pretty sick. It is coming off of an interesting. What do you mean? You're talking about the the gaps from opening gaps? We can look at ICP too. Yeah, Colin, I got you. All right, so higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low. This just broke that structure. That being said, though, this thing's been very extended on that weekly chart. This is what I want to see on Bitcoin. We need to see this on Bitcoin to have really healthy retracement. So in that case, I mean, this thing coming back down, if it's going to hold the positive here, if it's just going to hold above 50, that's not the positive. I need to make it the positive. That'd be nice. If this thing's going to hold on the oscillator above 50 here, I'm definitely continuously bullish on this very healthy retracement. Why, though? It's like the biggest reason is that we have these open close highs sitting here on the weekly. Like, look at the fact that this bounced directly off that area. And then even the weekly here. I mean, guys, you're going to get sick of me talking about this, but there's a reason. There's a major reason why we target these levels. These open close levels, because of, yet again, another reason right here. I can't stress that enough. Look at those price. Use those as price targets. It changes everything. Slope still intact there, right? Higher lows being formed, bouncing off previous highs. We did have a recent very aggressive run and possibly try to hit an all-time high, it looks like. But that being said, 14.30 right now, not a bad retracement we're getting here. Daily, decides to come back, retest kind of this core value it had in the 10s. Bounced off 11 though. It's a good sign. If we want to potentially make that run back to 14.308, I need to see continuous consolidation here in the 12-11 time frame. This thing needs to show me that it wants to hold this price and then make its move back. That's really the only thing I would really look for here on Tron. Tron, yet again, and this is another. Wait, not Tron. I'm thinking of Ton. Never mind. This isn't Ton. Different one. So yeah, let me go let me pull up the oscillator really quickly. Oscillator did flip to bearish money flow because of the aggressive sell-off. Makes sense. Yeah, so this thing did overextend down here quite a bit. This thing almost capped out on the bottom. Good sign for a V-bounce play but it's going to have to show that consolidation. Like I said, this thing has to come back up into above 50, consolidation on the oscillator, then make its move. That's what I would overall want to see, but that weekly chart does indicate that this area here that we have marked off is a pretty core level. So if it's going to hold up over that, I think we're going to be pretty healthy for that room and run back to 14.3. So really keep an eye on that move there. It looks potentially very nice for a continuation. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour here, yep, same thing. Just consolidating, nothing crazy. We want to just see continuous support over that 11. These two levels here. ICP. Let's do ICP. And then we're gonna look over Bitcoin again here in just a second. ICP, man, with the weekly breakout last week, can't get better than that. Dailies decided to rally hard, and now quite an interesting. Oh, to go over Bitcoin again? I don't care to go over Bitcoin again. I'll go over Bitcoin a million times. I love going over Bitcoin. All right. So potential bull flag, right? Potential, this is not, sorry, I shouldn't say potential bull flag because overall the price action isn't necessarily bull flag, but it's in that similar type of setup. You could indicate that this could be a bull flag if it goes and sets a new low down here, which honestly would be the best. If ICP does that, I probably would take a trade. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't have our normal oscillator setup, but it'd probably be a decent little bull flag that could easily rally. That being said, though, it's interesting because I've seen this kind of play out before on the oscillators where you have an uptrend like this, and then you have this one brief period where it pretty much runs, stops. It does a stop run or a liquidity grab, right? Runs below these lows or at these lows, extends extremely on the oscillator, then resets, and you can see this V formation, right? The V formation plays out. So honestly here, if today closes where it's at, you get this bullish turning point on the oscillator, you might see a run into 21, 22 the next 2 days on ICP. But let's go look at that weekly again, just to double take. Again, that 15.77 is perfect. I definitely would be watching that 22.60. That would be my next target right now. That is pretty key. That's honestly perfect. That is the perfect target. Why? Had a beautiful bounce off that, and then it rejected twice as well. That's what you want to look for. 22.59, I think, could be that top for now. Maybe a temporary high before it makes that rally in by the end of summer or something. It could continue above that, but that's what I would target first, unless some aggressive news drives this thing. But ICP looks actually very good. Looks very good. Are you using fibs, or what is your opinion on fibs? I do use fibs, but I'm mostly, it gives me an extra level of confidence to use fibs. If the fib looks like it's properly setting up, I can see it in my head when I look at it. So I'll use a fib if I see something looking like a fib is setting up. But it's a good way to trade. I mean, when I figured out a way on the oscillators to trade pretty well, I just stuck with that, right? Let's go over Bitcoin. Let's jump back to Bitcoin really quick. That's the future. There it is. There we go. All right, so Bitcoin weekly chart we really liked, right? We liked that the Bitcoin weekly chart started bearish, right? Very good when you see the daily, when you see the weekly start bearish, because a lot of times at the end of the week it actually closes bullish. The biggest sign was the fact that last week we closed at this very aggressive body. Body closed up over what? Close your price last week, 71,288. That is like pristine. That's what you want. I'm gonna be honest, Rumble Wrong, I would have never shorted Bitcoin. Not in this current state. You watch dips, you look for longs. That's just the best way to go about it. Like today, great opportunity for potential dip play. I would never suggest it in these mega trends, especially even on like ES and the NQ. It's like they have to set up bearish when they're in these aggressive trends before you consider shorting. But Bitcoin right now bouncing above, that weekly open close high we talked about here at 65,500. That was pretty key. I would really, really like to see if we can get a continuation this week after today's bearish day, right? the fact that it closed up over 65,500 and then aggressively closed up over 70K. What did it? No, it was over 71K, right? Closed over 71,000. That's so nice. I do think there is a potential this week we get an all-time high run again because of that move. Because of last week's closure. Today, though, slight retracement. I'll come back tomorrow with potential news this week that could potentially put us in the consolidation. But for now, daily is looking good. It had a healthy, retracement bounce on the oscillator. It did break structure, so if this does create a bearish turning point here, there is the potential of this thing coming back down, to retest 65,500. But again, this thing already got bought back up today. I'm not looking bearish until we show bearish structure. It's already bouncing after it swept these lows off an imbalance as well and previous highs. So this is also setting up so nicely to potentially come back and run to 71 or higher. We'll see though. It is like, I see where, Rumble Ron is coming at. I see where you're coming at, man. I mean, if you're on a short, on the 4 hour, I get it. It's just tough. It's very tough for me to be shorting it in this market, especially from the daily and the weekly time frames. That's why I wouldn't have shorted it. But that being said, it's like here, man, it needs to have a full setup below that low there for me to actually short. My opinion, I would have wanted this thing breaking the low and then immediately rejecting this low here. That's how I would have shorted if I was like on a lower time frame, like 4 hour or lower. But the fact that it immediately rebounded like aggressively, it did break that low, right? But it immediately got bought back, which is rough. That could have been just a liquidity sweep. Now it's trying to get back up to that high, which it makes sense if it would have needed that. So that's what I'd be watching right now. Watch maybe for a retest of 71.36. Look at the 1 hour. Yeah, the 1 hour even as well. 1 hour had a bear flag breakdown. But again, we're running right into a previous low. It's just, I need to break that low. So, yeah, this could very well hit 70. But you could have your stops above that high there at 70,104 and then just hold it from now. Maybe get lucky. Yeah, again, how Cyrox said it, it's like overall bear structure needs to be playing on all time frames for me to even look opposite directions. But we're still in such aggressive bullish structure on the daily that it's, that's what I'd be watching, more of a dipped for a long rather than a short. But let's get back to our list there. So what's your opinion for buying in crypto now? 3 weeks I was sell Bitcoin and trying to invest in some coin about 61K. I mean, man, depending on what you like, I forgot AXS. We haven't gone over. Depending on what you like, I would suggest just buying it weekly. That's pretty much what I do. If there's a currency that I like so right now on Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Ethereum I don't buy as much weekly anymore because I've already got a bunch of it. But Solana, I've upped the amount that I buy, and then Bitcoin I always buy about the same every week. And that's just, I've been doing that since like 2017. So it's just overall been playing, paying nicely because of the overall cycle play, right? Cycle's there. It's been intact for so long that we're already seeing it continue again this week. All right, this year. So AXS, here you go. Open close high there, 1254. So rejected that beautifully. I would watch right now on AXS continue support over 912 there. Daily time frame, similar situation. Consolidation here is good. That'd be healthy. Interesting turning point here. So this actually, I would have wanted that below the 50. There was a potential short opportunity on that for the daily. Could have probably had a decent little small trade, but again, I like to see these have those turning points below that 50 level for it to actually set up. So not too bad. Let's go over Doge. So right now, is this going to consolidate? If it holds up over 912, still bullish on this for the weekly time frame. For the longer term, shorter term, it could possibly go retest 950 roughly. Let's go to Dogecoin. Yo, Doge the breakout. So we did discuss this last week or on Friday. Right, two pivotal points. Two pivotal points. One was this open close low. Another one was this open close low. Both significantly bounced off of it. If we go into today's period, you can see we did have a rejection off the first one in 18, and now we're trying to show support over the other one at 20. Love the overall higher lows forming on the oscillator with the money flow being aggressive on that weekly time frame. The daily, again, holding structure over that previous high as well as that weekly pivotal point. So really do like that. 4 hour time frame, similar situation. Let's not break bear structure here on 19. Just hold 20, then I think you'll be good. Then that weekly time frame, we discussed this before. First thing I'm going for is the bottom of the order block, but honestly, I'm targeting 28. 28 would be that upside move if this thing can hold above this 24. 20, yeah, 4 there. That's easy. 204 holds up above that, but again, weekly time frame starting off bearish again, with Doge just closing over the last weekly high it had right here. It had a high of 209. Goodness gracious, almost 21. Closes up a last week of 22. This week, just want to see it close again over that previous weekly high we had there of pretty much 21, right? So rumors Twitter accepting Dogecoin, I'm sure. Oh, Near, that's a good one. Let's do Near. Near's been ripping. Guys, got about 5 minutes left here, and we're going to call it. But overall, I appreciate y'all being here. Still in Florida, but we'll be back with the normal stream on Wednesday. So appreciate you all. Glad you joined us. Do something else. There we go. All right, bet. Here's Near for you. So, Near, well, there you go. Weekly open, close, low. Rejected beautifully, 83.85. Can't get better than that. Talked about it about a billion times today. Probably annoyed by it by now. Now, in this case, this is where I would take a fib from that previous pivotal low. Look where the golden pocket's lining up beautifully inside and above that break of structure. Love that. Got a little bit of bearish divergence forming on that weekly time frame. It has confirmed. But again, this is, I would have wanted to see already a aggressive 2 or 3 week sell-off, but it hasn't given it to us, so I'm liking the structure so far. This here could be a very, very sought out, bear flag or bull flag, bull flag. So in this case here, you probably would want to see this go retest, set a new low, and then set a higher low, something like this. If it were to actually do a bull flag, like long-term bull flag breakout, it would have to set one more new low. If that's the case, that'd be awesome. Oscillator is playing that off where it is possible on Near to maybe break this swing low here around $6, give you that bounce above 5, and then make its move. That's ideally what I would look for. Again, though, based on yesterday's price action, or I guess no, it took out today. It took out all day yesterday's price action today. So that's very possible. But we do have this point right here. Like I said, that 5 level. Have that point there. If we go to that daily, that would essentially set a new low. There you go, 560. Let's watch for a bounce off 560. Go from there, and then make a big extended bull flag breakout. That'd be really nice. What time tomorrow? It just depends, man. I'm gonna try to be 1 Eastern tomorrow, but when I'm here in Florida, it's a little bit different. But normally, when I'm actually back home on Wednesday, it will be 1 Eastern like normal. So be prepared for that. 1 to 1:30. I'll schedule it. You'll have a scheduled stream next week, so be prepared for that. Or on Friday or Wednesday. Sorry, on Wednesday you'll have a scheduled stream. Other than that, guys, gold is still holding. Just flip. Did it flip back red today? I don't think it did. No, it's just the daily. It's flipping red on the futures, but it's actually green on the actual pair. Gold's still playing off nicely, guys. This is what we were looking for. I want this thing to extend on the oscillator. Oscillator is our biggest play right now, targeting 96 on the oscillator here for our final take profit on gold. So we'll see if that sets up here and continues. But as long as it continues to be above, let me see actually here. Okay, this is right off that wicked high there. So essentially, oh, I see what it's saying. I got you. Okay. Yeah, so essentially that's what we're looking for. Is that continuation. So is bound, or it did close here, but you can see here on it. Sorry, I forgot that closed. 4 hours, so nice. 4 hours, so nice. Looks really good. Let's see if we can get into the 2300 now. I guess that'd be our next target. But oscillators, everything there. The daily oscillator, I just want it to be back up to where it had that previous resistance, right? So that's what the other way I play like resistance here on sorry, at all-time highs, right? That's a good look at gold point of control is never coming. Gold point of control, it's never coming that area. What do you mean? What time tomorrow? AMP he wanted. We'll be back tomorrow to go over more, guys. Let me look at oh, we didn't go over the euro. I'm curious what the euro is. Yeah, nice. Euro's playing out like we talked about. We talked about the euro if it wasn't going to hold that 1085 volume profile on gold. I was wondering what you're saying. The 1085, remember we talked about it on the daily. If it wasn't going to hold that, it's probably going to hit a bearish trend, go back down to 107. Beautifully playing that now. So gotta love that. We really wanted to see that consolidation, but didn't. I'd be targeting now on the euro 107.82. That's what I look for. 107.1 maybe. But yeah, that's about it. All right, gentlemen. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for putting in y'all suggestions. We'll be back tomorrow, probably a little bit earlier. So that'll depend on how we do the HODL gang situation. But thanks for tuning in, my friends. If you haven't already, make sure you join the Discord. It's absolutely free. Somebody just type. I'll do it if I can. Let me cancel the Q&A. Make sure you join that Discord. Exclamation Discord. Exclamation Twitter. Exclamation indicators. There we go. Yeah, so Discord is absolutely free. Know that, okay? A lot of people are trading in there. There's our community manager, Mickey. You'll see him in the chat sometimes. He does live streams in there in the mornings as well. So whenever if for some reason I don't live stream, then he's in there live streaming the indicators, talking more about how the best ways to use the indicators, stuff like that. I also am happy to answer any questions you have about the indicators. But yeah, follow the Twitter. We do analysis similar to what I do all day on the Twitter. It's not just a specific time like we have in the stream, but it is all day on Twitter. We also give you market updates, things you need to look out for on the Twitter as well. And overall, yeah, this Friday doing the $300 giveaway again, so make sure you tune into that. And then on Wednesday we'll be back in the main setup. But thanks for tuning in, my friends. I will see you tomorrow. Similar stream to today. We'll do tomorrow. But overall, let's see if Bitcoin can hold up that 70K. 70K is big. Be very nice. What's it at now? 6970. So it's still trying to hold right below it. But maybe tomorrow we'll be back to 73. You never know. That being said, guys, appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you very soon. Thanks again. And peace. If I can find it. Peace.
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?